Hey, the rap game like the NBA at this point, niggas just get together, start forming super teams. This is borderline a dream pairing for me, just off how well these two artists' skill sets match each other. They both can bar out, but with Conway, you get versatility where he has his signature grimy style, but he can offer a lot more, whether it be song structure, content, he can get a different flows. And then Spesh is a technically sound rapper, but his big drawing point is these big haymaker punches where Conway can punch, but Spesh is the reason why I'm gonna need anti-wrinkling cream at 32 with the different faces I gotta make after I hear his punches. And then both these artists work super well with other artists. Spesh specifically, if you take the work he's done with Ransom or his project with Benny the Butcher, at times it sounds like he's better working with other artists. Then both he and Conway are good at developing this chemistry with other artists where they'll rap together in the same verse and go back and forth. They also have a couple of dope songs together in the past. And see what this project hitting on.
Moving too fast, they forgot their patience with the jail for little money on that block they chasing. At federal trial fighting like Javante Davis.
And now they hear the guards lock they cages. Ain't seen their kids in so long they forgot they age.
Out the gate, this is exactly what I'm talking about, where they getting that bad, where they bounce bars off back and forth, playing each other's rhyme schemes. They're both masters at. Conway primarily does it with Westside Gun. Then the last time Spesh did it was with Ransom on the song Hit List, which I think was one of the best songs of last year. This is tough.
Gun on my hip, I'm comfortable like my shoe is off. Don't make me do a nigga like the baby at the Louis store.
And I'ma let this Thule.
I'm not impressed with what the baby did. They jumped that nigga. Him and the security guard jumped the dude. What was he supposed to do?
Independence is a true reward. You a puppet, got strings in the back like a movie score.
We was slanging dope so we could stay up.
I like that. That's tough. It's kind of like he used the double entendre for the strings because he had the puppet line, but that strings in the back like a movie score is hard. You know how like the typical movie score is full of strings.
They mentioning my name, I'm who they say is GOAT. Machine and 38 Spesh, you gotta pay us both.
Nigga, that's as straightforward as an opener you finna get. Niggas just came out the gate and just started spitting. I think the beat was cool. It ain't nothing crazy, but it got the job done. Super eerie sample. I think that was a really pitched up organ, but I could be wrong. They had a real faint vocal sample in the background that I like. It ain't a crazy beat, but it really set the tone for a really menacing verse from Conway and Spesh. The chemistry of them going back and forth, playing off each other's rhyme scheme was fire. Tough performance, a lot of witty lines from both. Conway had the most punches. He had a lot of jabs through that verse, but Spesh had my favorite line with the strings in the back like a movie score. I like that song. This is Latex Gloves. Beat sound like Final Fantasy meets Boom Bap.
Rock the chinchilla to the ankle bone. I'm that nigga now, I'm just gonna make it known. My dog caught a body busting Draco Chrome. They gave him life behind the prison gates, he can't go home. Mama gone for days, been on a crack binge. Walk to granny house, she got a packed fridge. Been about that action since the old.
Ain't that the best feeling, dog, when grandma got food in her? Ooh. Don't take me back.
Niggas putting bodies on the throwaways. Latex gloves on when we loading case.
Cool verse, no real standout bars from it. That's kind of run-of-the-mill Conway where he'll take a rhyme scheme. He had mostly 3-syllable rhyme schemes and take it for 8 bars or so. He had like 2 or 3 different rhyme schemes here. Some of the imagery was vivid, but other lines were generic brags and generic street talk, at least on Conway standards.
Gotta be strong when you're popping the paparazzi form. Sliders singing in your local precinct like a Mario. Came a ways to get here naked to a Brocky arm. Careful, had to stash the rocket by the hockey john. Hating ain't gon' stop me, probably wish me body harm. Hand off to my dumb out, get his kamikaze on.
I frowned my face up like that because the body internal rhyme on that last scheme was hard.
Must be forks in the road, it's Maserati's form.
I like that line. Forks in the road is Maserati's form, a fork on the Maserati.
I had the Moody's blocks. Meet me at the beauty shop, the one that's owned by my cutie wop. That got the booty shots. I ain't packing the tootie Glock. Absolutely not. Stash box, case I get stopped by traffic duty cops. My last interaction, they was asking who we shot.
Hey, especially getting that storytelling bag. I like where this verse going.
My last interaction, they was asking who we shot. Gave them no reaction, so they acted truly shocked.
Man, the reaction, internal rhyme scheme, the truly shot rhyme scheme at the end of the bar. This nigga is floating. Right now, he got the best verse halfway in his verse. I say halfway like I know how long this verse gonna be.
It's diamonds and emeralds and rubies in my jewelry box. The cars that we got show y'all all who we not. 1500 at the ball and Louis shots. Walking all hoes as birds. I'm with a bougie flock. I never let these groupie thoughts do me like Rudy Pops, nigga.
Yo, I love Spesh verse on that song. That nigga went crazy. The flow is sick, but the reason it sounded so sick was the rhyme schemes were super intricate. And I thought Lloyd sounded good in that braggadocio lane, but but the level of imagery that Spesh got into, whether it was starting off with the street talk or towards the end where it was just braggadocio, all the lines were slick. I know we only 2 songs in, but that's going to be a hard verse to top. That was a really good verse. Lloyd had the second best verse on the song. I thought his rhyme schemes were dope until we got into Spesh's verse. But yeah, dope rhyme structure. He had a dope little Maserati line in there, and I thought he was talking slick too. I think Conway had the lightest verse. He had more of his run-of-the-mill rhyme schemes, which are good, granted, but we kind of used to that from Conway. He had a couple slick lines in his verse for the most part. I thought it was generic, especially if you're comparing it to Lloyd or how Spesh was bragging. Beat I ain't a huge fan of. I mean, it was there, he got the job done, but I didn't think the keys were that interesting, and then those synths gave it this bling era feel to it that made the beat sound a tad bit dated. Drums were fine, they were more so just there. It's a solid song overall, but I think Spesh carried. Lloyd, he had a good addition to it too. This is Last Week.
You a real nigga in my book if you loyal. Big homie, you ain't gotta lift a finger, niggas put it in for you. Make block, had my foot in the soil. Send some young niggas through your hood, drilling like they looking for oil. Put the cola in the pot and I'ma cook up the oil.
I like that.
Machine, they know you a killer, they look to avoid you.
That's a five-syllable Ronsky right there.
Bricks,
That's tough.
Coca-Cola Kith. I've been on the strips since Motorola flips. Every flow is spit, them shits Ebola sick.
Bag with his Ronsky.
I'm the GOAT, you bitch.
Last week
Good
I was gone
verse.
3 days flat. Flew to get the bricks, put them on the freeway back. You get your first little pack and spend G's at Saks. I'm rich, but still get shit from TJ Maxx. Never believe it.
Talk. Now we talking. These are bars I can relate to. I will say though, TJ Maxx be giving me anxiety, dog. They don't sort their clothes, bruh. Like you pull a shirt, you don't know if it's polo or uspa. But serious, especially when he getting this storytelling bag, is sick.
Day that we pay tax, used to get to work and treat it like a relay match.
Still going with the same rhyme scheme.
Them teenage stacks. Your team got 11 G's like the Green Bay Packs. I can get you anything with a delivery fee. Why the food?
I rock with it. I mean, technically got 53 G's, but I mean, it's 11 on the field at the same time. I ain't gonna be too technical.
Even though these bullets expensive, I'ma hit you for free. Got these long missiles with me.
I like
That'll
that.
rip through your V. Hit you with 3. Let's see who love you unconditionally. Spesh.
I like that unconditionally line. Hey, Spesh is not playing with niggas right now. He's in his bag. 3 verses in, the rapping here is some of the best rapping I've heard from him lately. He easily had the better verse on this song, and that's saying a lot because Conway had a really strong verse. He had some dope flows, and he showed off his best rhyme schemes of the album so far. The 5-syllable one towards the middle being the best one. But Spesh had his usual clean rhyme schemes, but the way he was talking, dog, the storytelling at the beginning of his verse, then he started punching. I like the Green Bay Packs line, but that gun talk at the end of the verse ended off with the unconditional love bar. Ugh. Yeah, that's a tough verse. Beat was cool. I don't think Spesh is a great producer. I mean, sometimes he show out on other people's projects, oddly enough. I like the spacey vibe of the track, plus the boom bap drums. I do like the drums a lot, but I just want a little bit more with these samples. There's something that jump off the page a little bit more, but it was cool. It's just in this lane of hip hop, giving the producers that, especially Conway in the track, I want something a little bit more. I've heard dope beats from him though, so he can definitely turn it around. Good song, This Has Been Through.
New drop, we going fishing, nigga. You reach a certain level, don't wanna deal with niggas. Have a phone, now I'm rich. Rockin' Como, they got song. Got a blessed child that can hold his own.
You know, I ain't never gonna knock niggas for pronouncing fashion brands wrong, because I can't pronounce half of them. But where the O come from? What's Como de Garçon? Now, the real reason I'm knocking is I can tell he added a syllable in order for it to fit the flow, which I got a pet peeve when rappers do that. Oh, this verse is light, by the way.
Chopping grams, I had to use a bowl. We still living in hell cause we ain't sold our soul.
Rhyme
Cook
schemes
up
ain't
on
the
a hot
best.
plate cause we ain't have a stove. 4 deep riding in
This
the
is a lot of El Camino, dog.
So gas hanging out the window. They don't know what I've been through.
I told my niggas, let's keep doing shit that got us here. VVS, the big solitaires. 20 bands for 1 earring, and I got the pair. Neck looking like I sell a
The ad-lib in the background was that supporting. Hey, just in case y'all niggas can't do basic math, the 2 times 20 is 40.
I'm from Buffalo, New York, ain't had too many options there. Trap house kitchens, just a couple dirty pots in there. Niggas get out of pocket, then you shot the feds. And if you lose, you come back later and the block get air.
Alright, I like the street talk.
Several ways, we was selling yays. Out that back seat window, my Mac 11 sprayed.
Hey, that's song was the rap version of taking your starters out and putting the bench in. We lost 38 Special, been on one, and got an El Camino verse and chorus. I wasn't feeling neither one. The chorus, the vocals sounded fine, but they just sounded fine. For Camino, I like him on choruses, but I like when his singing sounds grittier. He has decent or pretty good vocals, but it's not blow you away vocals. So since he has a grittier aesthetic, it kind of feel off. Throw on the fact that it wasn't really mixed really well. I ain't really feeling the chorus, and then the verse, it just wasn't it. It's passable, but the rhyme scheme's pretty basic. He got into some street talk, but look, being a real nigga ain't a replacement for rapping great. Conway rapped down to his level. That was his lightest verse. The first like 8 bars was just dumb generic. He picked up some steam a little bit when he got to the street talk about halfway through his verse. And then to top off the trifecta of doom, the beat just wasn't it. The drum sounded fine, but that was the most uninteresting sample with that. Not really sure they were censored what, but whatever it was just going back and forth between 2 notes. It wasn't it. Lightest song on the album by far, this is Speshal Machinery.
Yeah. It's my type shit, man.
Hey man, find you somebody who love you as much as the niggas in Trust, Shade Noir, Ransom, 38 Spesh. Find you somebody who love you as much as they love strings. These niggas ain't never heard strings they don't want to rap over.
Hey y'all, niggas change when the lead drawn. I'm the plug, you run off phone and end up with your legs gone. Mink blanket, keep the bed warm. Where I get it from, I got it made like the Special Ed song. I'm the nigga that the feds on. Might see me with a fluffy French bulldog that's red phone. I be dead.
Hey, I ain't never thought I'd hear a French bulldog getting flexed in a rap song, dog. Talk that suburbs-ish.
Hope you read songs. Your future I understand, cause getting blood on our hands, how we read poems. Say a prayer for my dead mom.
That's fire. That's so fire, dog. Getting blood in our hands, how we read palms, palm readings, but the palms was literally read from the... Come on, dog.
Say a prayer for my dead moms and my brother. Until we back together, I'm a bear on. Trust.
Fork in the pot, my wrist circling. Talking O's and blocks like Lil Durk and them. I don't care how good his verse.
O's and blocks, O block, I like that.
They ain't got no drip, they gon' borrow mine. It boggle minds how I'm fucking models like the Jack Harlow guy. Wow, I just get the...
That's so stupid. That was hilarious, dog. I like this Floyd Rod scheme too.
So the fans wanna arrest and cuff us, niggas ain't gon' never touch us. They know I'm always trying to brush into a fade. I'm Chicago on poetic justice. How many pointers in the chain?
Brush it to a fade, end up in a fade to fight. Brush it to a fade. All right, Conway punching back. Spesh had the upper hand, but fight back.
In the field and my shoulder pads, wearing cleats. Tosha glass, where the clique. Broken man, he airing streets. And on sight, me, we on your ass anywhere we meet.
That is what it means.
Cashmere sweater, trench rock.
Come on, man. Conway, the new Urban Dictionary. That's exactly what it means.
A debit card, give me mine and cash and spend better. Leg broken, I still ain't going out on a limb, never. Money stretched like Wimbiana, nigga, I've been pressured.
Yeah, go ahead and get them Wimby bars off before it get overplayed and rap like Giannis bars.
And Portofino, sipping vino like it's lemonade. They on Instagram with your chain if you mention my name. We sold weight for real, now we having label deals. Shoot bipolar, I'm trying to get him to take his pill. Punching like Bud Crawford until I break your will. The pain is real.
Hey, in any sport, you know you made it when you get a bar about you. I ain't never heard a Bud Crawford bar till he beat Harold Spence.
The undisputed champ, reigning still. Machine, nigga.
Hey, Conway got his get back on that one. I think up until this song, Spesh has clearly been the better one on this project particularly. I like some of the punches that he had in his line, like the Poetic Justice bar, but I think these are the most lackluster rhyme schemes on the project. Just a 2-syllable rhyme scheme pretty much from start to finish. Conway Kane, he did his numbers when it came to punching, but the flows he got into on this song mixed with the rhyme schemes made for his best verse. And production, I can't quite get behind. There's elements that I think are interesting, like it's a texture sample, and then I like the tribal drums that were behind the main drums, but just an uninteresting string chord progression. I'm telling you, man, these Trust niggas, they need to go to like Strings Anonymous or something. But I think Fire Rapper from Conway kind of makes up for it a little bit. This is Fireplace.
Before a move get made, I gotta give clearance. And the plug love me more than his parents. Insurance if it's interference. I'm alert, my brother died, but he here in spirit. Cause he left 30 bricks for me to inherit. My gun old but pretty like Maya face. And my dope take fiends to a higher place. No, we owe.
Hey, that remind me of the Clips line, the effing on college girls with innocent looks like Maya and Right Around Shine. I think Game had a Maya line too. That's stupid. I like that line though.
My trap ain't got no chimney, but it's a fireplace. I was 15 upstate in barbed wire gates. Now I'm 38 with a crib that sit by a lake. Always stayed low, cause the streets is dead. I disappeared once a year like Easter eggs. Trust.
That's a solid solo cut from Spesh. I don't think that verse outshines any of his other verses except for maybe Speshal Machinery. The rhyme schemes were cool. That's what I say don't outshine any of his other verses, but I do think he had a bunch of clever punches in there. I don't think this beat is anything crazy, but I do prefer it over a lot of the beats on this album. I think that airy loop was fairly interesting, and I think it especially set a pretty cold, chilling vibe to it, which went along well with Spesh's verse. That's a short song, but I think it was solid. This is Goodfellas.
You know what I'm saying? Upstate and wide niggas, man.
I don't really care for this beat.
Niggas had to like
It's these samples
stand
ain't
in 3 feet
interesting.
of snow and figure shit out. Know what I'm saying?
Yo, hustling in the cold, man, that's a different level of commitment. Man, I ain't standing outside nothing if the temperature's below freezing point.
Disappeared and came back like 2 front teeth. Now, who want to see the switch on my big weapon? When I ask who want beef, it's a trick question. I hate a bum bitch that wears shiny shoes. Y'all put seeds in these chickens like Chinese food. I'm the guy she choose, but her tongue too loose. Don't.
That's so fire. That's so fire. That is so fire. Y'all put seeds in these chicken. Y'all be putting kids up in these chicken heads like Chinese food. The sesame chicken, son, that is crazy. That's the best part on the album. Hey, Spesh good for at least one show-stopping punch. That might have been it. That was a punch, dog. That's hard.
They see the level up and now they real salty. Tell them pussy niggas jump if they feel froggy. Get you clipped in any city, I got real reach, but I ain't tripping, that's beyond me. That ain't real beef. You rap niggas jewelry looking real cheap. Time is of the essence. I whip the work, trying to get the extras. Now they see me riding in a Tesla, and that's
I was about to say that opening right scheme was probably his lightest. Just a 2-syllable rhyme scheme, and I wasn't really feeling the bars, but it seemed like he might be heating up right here.
The ones who handle that beef first like a meal prepper. My beats harder, my
That's
whip
cool.
newer, my deal better. And my bank statement 6 pages long like a jail letter. Back in 2014, I had
I
cheap
like that.
prices, facts. Me and J-Rock taking bricks out the rap like Kraft cheese slices. So y'all cashing out, it don't seem like it.
That's so fire. Taking cheese money out the rap like the crap. That is fire.
So y'all cashing out, it don't seem like it. We don't believe it is cap. Beams on our hats of rappers, I green light it.
Sound right
These
there.
long runs, we consider that blessing. I'm with a kitchen that's stretching. Mix oil and water like vinaigrette dressing. Kids in my city wanna know the truth. How I get.
So fire. Mix oil with water, oil, weed concentrate, water. I think water is acid, but I could be tripping. But he mixing one drug with another drug. That's hard.
Soprano zone, Joe Pesci, but I look better. Trade Spesh, Jimmy Conway. This a clip from Goodfellas.
Hard. Sheesh, man, the bars is there. The issues I got with the album, both of them was just front and center on this song. I think one of them is Conway's punching under his weight on some of these tracks. Like, Conway can get real technical and intricate with the bars, and he can get real detailed with his grimy talk or his storytelling. He can even get into some personal cuts. So when I hear some surface level brags and a real basic 2-syllable rhyme scheme like what he had on this verse, even though it ain't horrible, it ain't why we love Conway as a rapper. Especially, I thought his verse was kind of average until he got to that season these chickens line. Son, that line was crazy. That line alone make his verse one of the most memorable on the album. But then Benny the Butcher, I think he might have one upped it. He didn't have a line on that chicken level, but that Kraft cheese line and that vinaigrette line, those were right there next to that line. And then his rhyme schemes, the way he just effortlessly moves through his rhyme patterns. The beat, man, these beats just ain't doing it for me. It's a really uninteresting sample. Matter of fact, you know the the issue is? These loops feel like you got these joints from a free loop pack. I don't think these niggas had to spend much getting these samples cleared. And then the lo-fi aesthetic is aesthetic that I kind of like, but the lo-fi mixing on some of these songs make the beat feel even cheaper, like the case here. I love the rapping. Beat could have set this over the top and make this one of those standout tracks from Spesh in the Griselda camp, but it still was a dope song. This is Unruly.
Bum ass niggas. Look. The Maybach sitting on 4G.
Nah, this beat here is hard.
Gave Floyd 15, my niggas still in there. Only took me less than 2 years to become a millionaire. I done got richer than my adversaries. That's why I keep extendo clip up in this Mac I carry.
Interesting drum choice.
Ain't no cap in my vocabulary. Say you got guns and you got bricks, but it's imaginary. VS diamonds in my wrist rapping, and that's canaries. Pull
Like
up in
the
a
wrist
rave that's
internal.
matte black and cherry.
Now with yo Joe, to match my smoke, you gon' need charcoal. Seen narcos, I transport extreme cargo, and I don't call myself no plug.
So they switched up the drums on Spesh's verse. I like these drums a little bit better. Those thumping 909s probably would sound good in and of themselves, but I don't think they fit the sample as good.
If this was The Wire, I'd be Marlo, the only gangster still alive and free to see tomorrow. Be cordial,
that.
just in case they try to record you. One time I smacked a rat on cam and got 3 lawsuits. Look at him.
Yo, where was that at? That wasn't on the free sample pad. They dropped some bread on that sample. That beat was crazy. This is the best beat on the album by a lot. That beat is tough. One of the interesting things about Spesh as a producer, while I don't love him as a producer most of the time, in my opinion, it seems like when he produces for other artists, especially artists who aren't in that trust label, he produces better. Like his project from earlier this year with Graph, I actually really rock with 38 Spesh on there. And I would put this beat more in line with that album than the other beats on this Speshal Machinery album. That sample was super dope. It was super layered. It comes in with those horns, and then it takes this modulation, and you hear these multiple layers of keys. You have a smooth key, and then you have these electronic sounding keys arpeggiating. You had 2 different drum patterns, and while I don't love how that first drum pattern with the thumping bass fit with this sample, the fact that they fit 2 different ones on this song I think was dope. Honestly, the beat was so good, there wasn't much that Spesh or Con could say to ruin it, but Conway came with a fire verse anyway. I like the flows from him, I like the rhyme schemes from him. This is almost exclusively braggadocio from Conway the Machine, but the lines weren't as run-of-the-mill as like his lines on Goodfellas was to me. Spesh's verse felt shorter, but I liked his verse as well. He had some jabs, and there wasn't as technically sound as like Conway's, who kind of went off with his multis. Great rapping overall, phenomenal beat. This is Made Bosses.
The wins and losses made bosses. You're the last in this game.
Y'all said R&B was dead.
I just wanted to make my mama smile. I'm living out my dream, I know my mama proud. I got a phone call today from Sosa. He in the feds, been down 6. I hope he made the most of that time. He said he just been reading books and staying woke. He said he living through me. He said I gave him hope.
Shout to my niggas that hoop. Ain't no pump faking. You get slumped if you're pretending to shoot.
That's fire. He started out with the basketball line, but no pump faking, no fake shot, but pump faking. The shotgun ain't faking.
Don't worry about me sending the troops. Unload, this is a soloist. Bitch, I never been in a group. I'm living proof what niggas can do. How you can make business moves, not fit in the suit. Now tell me, y'all trying to buy every stone. I spent $2 million on properties that's not my primary home. Before rap was already known, I carry chrome. 4-4 bulldog that bury bones. I done had some legendary phones.
That's cold. That is cold. 4-4 bulldog that bury bones. Playing on how dogs bury bones, and like the 4-4 bulldog to get you buried in a grave. That's tough.
It's old pics shown that I don't really fuck with you niggas like Jerry Jones. Just.
Let's go to Spesh. Hey, that's two really good beats back to back. That beat wasn't quite as good as Unruly was, but it was dope. It was textured, a lot of different elements, but the piano that was in the forefront sounded good. And for the most part, Spesh has been carrying on this project. And that's unexpected for me because no disrespect to Spesh, but Conway's a better rapper out of the two of them. Spesh can be really flashy with the punches, but from a technical rapping perspective and from their existing discographies, I might expect it for Conway to shine a little bit more, or at least for it to be pretty balanced. But like I alluded to in the intro, man, Spesh gets on these projects with other rappers and that really plays to his strengths. I think Conway's at his best when he's punching, but when you get Spesh throwing in his haymakers, that serve as like a de facto, you get that Conway punch. And then one of the criticisms that I've had for Spesh is his projects can sound one-dimensional, because even though his rhyme schemes are really polished, he kind of have one speed, and it's actually an issue that Conway had really early in his career where it's you got a 3-syllable rhyme scheme, he's going to say it towards the beginning of the bar, and then he's gonna say it at the end of it. And he might take that rhyme scheme for 8 bars or so and rinse repeat with that. He's actually had that one gear on this project, but because Conway's on it as well, he doesn't draw that much attention to it. But yeah, dope verse here with some dope punches. Once again, Conway's verse wasn't bad, but the lyricism here, I just expect a little bit more from Conway. There's no internal rhyme schemes here, just 3 syllables at the end of the bars. But he did enough of this song to be a standout given the beat and Spesh's performance on it. Let's close this thing out with We Outside.
They praying on my downfall, they wish they could stop me. I got hit with 3 shots and the shit didn't drop me. The neck and the wrists is rocky. I got positioned on the top, now you niggas gotta sit and just watch me.
Come on, man. See, this is way more intricate than the last song. He's using sitting as an internal rhyme scheme, but then on top of that, he has a 5-syllable rhyme scheme at the end of the bar, and that 5-syllable on top of him using sitting as an internal, it uses those 2 syllables, those sitting syllables as part of the 5-syllable rhyme scheme at the end. Stuff like that is special. That's why I don't hit as hard when he's in more basic rhyme schemes.
My trenches Versace, all cheetah print so the bitches can spot me.
Still
Shit that I jot, I should be listed as top grade. 30 clip in his Glock, I hit your bitch in the top piece. I got 20 pins off the lot. Draco and 4 pound, the only friends that I got. You can look at my scars, see I pinned through a lot. Before this rap shit, I had a fork spinning in the pot. I ain't had no workers.
Although they pray.
Oh no, they should have gave my nigga a verse.
I stay working.
He sound good though.
Just to prove them wrong.
Our riddling verses was inspired by visions of fiends' veins. I thought it looked like scribbles and curses. My struggles never made sense.
That's tough.
Until I cashed the check. I always wanted more, but couldn't get it till I mastered less.
I like that subtle and it makes sense till I cash checks line.
And it's stress cause I rap the best, could slash a rapper's neck. Cause every bar's a bullet like my trigger finger had Tourette's. Being underrated shit ruined my patience. Guess I'm due for vacation. Setback kept losing the basics. I was due for.
Man, this back-to-back 4-syllable rhyme scheme, she is spitting. She talking too.
Don't fit the mold from them rules they created. Hunger pains left me chewing a razor. Racing stewards and cages.
Oh, I'm tripping. That's a 5-syllable rhyme scheme. She's going crazy.
I'm motivating to the ones in the crew that I hang with. They got rap sheets long enough they can use as a blanket. Fans asking how long it's gonna take to know she's the best.
They got rap sheets so long they can use as a blanket. That's fire. And then you got the sheets playing off bed sheets playing off blanket.
At what point does paying dues leave you in debt? Used to freeze where I slept, swear I could see every breath. Wear my heart on my sleeve till it start to eat at my flesh. Tried to spit that introspective shit, but niggas missed it. So I flipped it, a misfit that put whack rappers into a hit list.
Hey man, y'all got Shay Noir bent. She lost her mind. Shay's had a busy year between a bunch of features and she had a project from earlier this year. This saying a lot because you got a good amount to choose from, but this is her best verse of this year. Content-wise, she was venting with a lot of slick lines while she was talking. And then this is some of the most intricate rhyming I've heard from her, almost period. She lost her mind. Easily best verse on the song, but Spesh verse wasn't shabby either. Then you got another pretty good beat. See, sometimes albums just need some negative reinforcement. As soon as I start complaining about the beats, they got better. It's a sweet sample loop right here. I like the guitars on it. And then Pharoah Monch, even though they should have gave this nigga a verse, he sounded extremely good on the chorus. Best chorus of the album. Overall, this is a pretty good project. I think given the talent of Spesh and Conway, I was expecting a little bit more, but I don't think that takes away from this project. I think the biggest downside is one, the production ranged from fine to not that great up until the last 3 songs on the album. The beats were passable, but if you get one beat that just passable after the other, it kind of brings down the album as a complete listening experience. Even if you wouldn't point to one beat and it's like, yeah, that beat was trash. But the bigger surprise for me is that Conway the Machine, even though he has some some dope verses on here. His performance was a little up and down. You know, tracks like We Outside, he was on one, and I think if we would have got that Conway from start to finish, we'd be having a little different conversation right now, even with the same production. But for 80% of the album, he got out right by Spesh. But on the positive though, Spesh, it's crazy how he can thrive in this environment with other rappers, even highly regarded rappers like Conway or Ransom. If I had to give him a slight knock, I think he could apply that he has one gear critique that I've had for other albums for him to this project slightly, but it just wasn't a big deal because of the sequencing and how this album was put together. But the rhyme schemes for him, whenever he got into the street talk, it was super vivid. He flashed a lot of good storytelling, and then the punches as advertised. Some of the best punches of the year. That Seasoned Chicken line was ridiculous. And it was just every song. You're not going too long without hearing a fire bar from Spesh. And then for as much as I criticize the production on those last 3 tracks were dope, especially on Unruly, which is, man, one of my favorite beats I've heard from Spesh. So while I think these two are capable of putting out an amazing project, and this wasn't necessarily that doesn't take from the fact that this was a pretty dope listen.